Hello, my name is Gerald Haynes, and I am currently incarcerated in the Wise County Jail in Decatur, Texas. I have been away from my children and unable to provide for them for over 3 months now due to my detainment. I was recently indicted on a third-degree felony for possession of a controlled substance, 1 gram to 4 grams. The controlled substance in question was merely the byproduct of smoking marijuana, just some unpackaged, unprocessed tar or resin that was cleaned out of my pipe. I am facing a possible 10-year prison sentence for THC, for not throwing away what I cleaned out of my marijuana pipe. I don't feel comfortable discussing many details of my case from within the walls, but I feel that this is unjust and deserving of some attention. While I should mention that I am facing other possession charges stemming from this arrest, this one is the most severe and is currently the only one which I have been indicted on. I am far from perfect, but I have been a good father and a productive citizen, and I do not feel like my family nor I deserve the punishment which I am potentially facing. I sincerely feel like I don't have a fighting chance from behind these walls. I have barely had any chances to speak with my court-appointed attorney. He doesn't answer calls from within the jail and has only visited me twice, once for my info and history, and once to present my pre-indictment offer. When I was taken to the courtroom for my formal arraignment, he only met me at the judge's bench to go through the motions. He did not visit with me at all. While I do not feel like he is on my side, I would find it difficult to present my case to him from within here if he was. Also, I have yet to receive access to the jail's law library. I have been on a waiting list for a few weeks now. Once I came to the realization that my attorney was not going to provide me with the counsel I desired, I made law library access one of my priorities. While I would be able to Google the laws, definitions, and my rights outside as a free, innocent until proven guilty man, I am currently limited to waiting on all the red tape associated with the visit to the law library database. Aside from being unable to properly research, prepare for, and fight my case from here, I am also missing out on my professional and family life. I missed my son's first ever day of school. I missed out on my daughter losing her 2 front teeth. Both children are ready to take the training wheels off of their bicycles. More importantly, I was not able to financially help with the expense of school supplies and clothes, nor to mention their normal day-to-day needs. I have employment options waiting for me, but not the same life I have before my arrest. The longer I am in here waiting for and or fighting this, the more of my life I am losing. I bring attention to my case for several reasons, many of which are admittedly selfish. I am seeking assistance in bailing out of here, first of all. I am either seeking a bondsman who is willing to work with me on payments or seeking financial assistance to paying a bondsman. Also, I am seeking willing and competent legal counsel. I need an attorney who will work for me and who will keep me informed. I need one who is willing to work with me financially, or else I need some assistance in paying for an attorney. Additionally, I am seeking the support of concerned citizens who may hear about my case and could write Wise County officials such as the District Attorney's Office and or the judge of the 271st Judicial District to voice their opinions and or to plead for leniency. If nothing else, I hope that awareness is raised further so that the legislators of all chambers, both at the state and federal level, continue to receive calls of action to change oppressive marijuana laws. While I realize that I have just presented many needs, all I can really ask for is from this organization is information and resources to point me in the right direction for receiving some of the assistance I seek. Any help would be appreciated. I would like for news of my case to be put out there for sure. I want law enforcement and the courts around here to know that they are being watched and held accountable. And if nothing else, perhaps some pen pals would at least help me pass the time and help keep my spirits up. Some days in here are longer and more depressing than others. As long as the state of Texas continues to demonize marijuana and cannabis derivatives in such an archaic manner, we cannot help but accept the fact that otherwise responsible parents will be pulled from their children, that otherwise productive citizens will be classified as criminals. I wish I could romanticize my situation and consider myself a martyr of sorts, but I fear I will merely become a statistic. I refuse to simply roll over and accept whatever punishment this court offers without making them think about it and work for it. I will not allow my court-appointed attorney to sell me out without putting any work into my case. I will ride this wave and will get to hug my children again soon enough. I will once again be able to provide them the love and support I provided before this incident. I am putting my faith in family and friends to provide what I am currently incapable of providing. It is my wish that no one else has to endure something similar to this. This tumult is only temporary, but it can potentially leave a mark for the rest of my life, especially if I wind up with a third-degree felony conviction. I apologize for such a long-winded letter. In retrospect, much of it appears to be a selfish sob story, but I have often been too proud to ask for help. Being incarcerated, however, leaves me unable to effectively fight this. I know I am not the only one going through this. I know that legalization is getting closer to becoming an actuality, but when I am possibly facing 10 years in prison for simply cleaning my pipe, it becomes a little more difficult for me to realize that fact. I thank you for your time, and I appreciate and respect all that NORML stands for, and I can guarantee that I will become an active member as soon as possible. Sincerely, Gerald Haynes.
Thank you, Randy. I want to shoot some numbers out at you today. Did you know $30 billion is all it would take to end world hunger each year? Did you also know that Congress spends $737 billion in defense funds every year? Do you see a problem there? Did you also know that in 2010 to now, we have spent $3 to $6 billion a year on the war on marijuana? Not the war on drugs, but the war on marijuana. In 2012, Texas arrested 72,000 people for marijuana. 97% of those were for possession only. Wow, that's ridiculous. If y'all aren't mad about that, you should be. I'm pissed. There's no other way to put it. I'm pissed. In the country, in 2013, 600,000 plus people were arrested for marijuana possession in this country. That's 40.6% of all the drug arrests that year. The cost for that, to be exact, 609,423 people to spend one day in jail was $30 million. $30 million. That's ridiculous for pot. Yeah, that's right. It's bullshit. There's no other way to put it. Yes. Between the $6 million that was spent 1 year to arrest people possessing marijuana, plus $30 million just for 1 day for those 600,000 people, that's almost 10% of what it would cost to end world hunger, for God's sakes. So let's think about, this is what this tells me, that if we ended the war on prohibition, we would have more than enough money in our country alone to end world hunger. What else could we do just in our country with that money, instead of destroying the lives of people that are just trying to medicate themselves with something that's nature given, that's not processed in a pharmacy? We don't know what's in it. Things that have more problems behind them than benefits. I know I personally, and probably each and every one of you out there, has suffered behind somebody going to jail behind a small amount of pot. I personally have gone to jail behind a small amount of pot, and I lost my job, and all sorts of horrible things happened behind one small thing. I got off the phone a couple hours ago with a dear friend, somebody that fixed my car when it broke down, not because I asked him to, just because it needed to be done. Somebody that would make sure people that didn't have a ride had food, would drive hours to do so. They are now facing felony charges, ultimately behind what is pot. And that's, I'm pissed. That's not okay. We need to all be pissed. We need to have our voices heard. If we've got time to roll a joint every day, then we've got time to spend an hour of our week devoting some way to bettering our cause, whether it be forming a project that you can come to us with and let's do to educate people, whether it's reaching out to your own church, whether it's calling your representative. Somehow you need to spend 1 hour a week. So this is my call to battle. We need to all step up. I need to see every single one of you at some point in time standing beside me and not just volunteering, but fighting with me, because that's what it is. So I want to take this time to take a moment of silence to remember those people that can't be here today because they are caught up behind bars, behind prohibition. And the 1,800,000+ people that are affected every year by those people being locked up. So if y'all will please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. On a couple of side notes, just to bring the Nintendo tournament up right quick. The only reason that madness of awesomeness went as smoothly as it did was because Courtney and Caroline, those two were rock stars from 7 p.m. until 2:31 in the morning. So can I get a round of applause for these two ladies? And also, we do have a couple of events coming up for volunteer opportunities. We've got our march coming up we'll announce more about that soon. A possible car wash coming up within the next week or so that we need some people that are ready to get wet and dirty for a few minutes with us to raise money. And then we have an ink expo coming up the 3rd and the 4th, or the 9th through the 11th, excuse me. We could definitely use some hands, and that promises to be fun. So anybody interested or in any volunteer opportunities, get with me. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. We're kind of doing impromptu, so I'll just introduce myself for those that don't know me. I'm David Sloan. I'm the Public Information Officer here with DFW NORML. I'm also on the National Legislative Committee and been involved with NORML on a national level and doing this stuff everywhere for a long, long time. For the last 6 months, things have been pretty interesting, I guess, to say the least, for me. I'm, of course, y'all know, most of you know, I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and I do mostly cannabis and extract cases all over North Texas. And a story I just heard for the first time is I get probably 30 letters a week like that. And, and when we presented all these bills, nobody got left behind the door. I promise you that, but everybody, there was so much focus was on medical, and I've been going, what about liberty? What about God? I'm seeing people locked in boxes that are suffering too. A lot more than medical, really. I mean, I don't want to prioritize anybody, but there's people suffering out here behind this bullshit. And I've been walking around the last legislative session. I mean, honestly, I really haven't known what to do with myself, because honestly, I thought we were making some huge headway, and I was feeling pretty well endowed, guys, if you know what I mean. We were going to change law. We were, you know, and I started believing our own press clippings, you know, and we did everything right by the numbers. We went and saw all our, you know, we stuffed their boxes, we signed their logs, we did all this bullshit that's supposed to work, and it didn't. At the same time, some group that I've never heard of, and I've been in this shit since 1984. This group of yahoos comes into Austin with some medical bill. And I mean, it just slides through like it had KY jelly on it. You know, and in the first paragraph it says, with a doctor's prescription, which doctors can't recommend. I mean, they can't prescribe anything that's not FDA approved and through the clinical trials and part of the pharmaceutical industry. You know, they can't write a prescription. And we had these liberty bills, and we had you know, we had the decrim bill, you know, where it's all right, shit, you caught me, I'll pay $100, leave me alone. You know, we had all kinds of good stuff that was a good compromise. And the only thing that slides through is some bullshit bill that's absolutely worthless to anybody but the pharmaceutical industry. And I'm sitting here going, what the fuck happened here? Okay, look, I was feeling a little big for my britches, no doubt. I've always felt big for my britches. But I mean, I was really feeling big for my britches, and we all were. And honestly, on the real, guys, look, it kind of turned into a social club. You know, we kind of forgot what we were doing and said, here, pass the torch. You know, and it wasn't a marathon torch either. Yeah, look. We had a damn good dress rehearsal. I know what happened. It was money. It was money. And is that what these bitches down in Austin have become? Is that what this is about? Really? Do we have to come in and give them money to get them to treat us like civil human beings? That's ridiculous. I knew the federal government was a bunch of whores on Washington Avenue. But what the hell's going on in Texas? And don't say we didn't try. Bullshit. We tried it. Not only did we try, we did. We were there. They heard from us. They had good evidence in their hands. Each and every one of them. We made sure of it. And what did these yahoos, somebody or others that I've never heard of, do? I guess they wrote some checks. I guess they wrote some checks. Money we don't have. What are we going to do, guys? What kind of group are we going to be? Who are we? Stoners, if you just leave them alone, they'll leave you alone? Well, I mean, that's what I honestly, on the real, guys, myself, the worst. That's kind of what we became last year. Agreed? You know, I think it's time for us to grow up, put on our big boy and girl pants, and understand that this isn't a fair process. You know, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do. You know, I mean, I think that it belongs. A lot of it belongs to the membership. I mean, a lot of the responsibility you guys have too. You should be bringing somebody new to every one of these meetings with you. You know, I know we're stoners and wait till last minute. No. Never get started on anyway. I understand all that, but look, if we're serious about this, it's time for us to get serious. You know. I'm sorry, that letter got me, and that's just the medical. Look at the other 2/3. The liberty and the justice of this thing. That's just one slice of the pie of the suffrage that this government's imposing on us. And look, I mean, I think it's time to get a little more assertive. That's a good lawyerly word, assertive.
We need to put some boots indoors.
You know, I mean, okay. And this is the letter got me started. I'm sorry, but I was actually going to kind of just give you guys a legal update of what's going on since our legislative session. There's two things going on. One is the officers are wearing body cameras now, and I thought that was going to stop a lot of abusive situations, which it has. But what I've also seen, this is just, again, I don't have real good studies. It's just me being around it for 30 years and knowing it and seeing what's happening, and some of the insiders telling me they're tending to make officers a lot more rigid where it comes to small amounts of marijuana. And they're making arrests that they used to didn't make. And come on, think about it. You're kind of a little bit of a renegade cop yourself. You're young, you're not completely inhuman. You go out on Friday night, stuff like that, or if you're not working, and you've been late to work a few times this month. The boss is already on your ass. It's basically our allies that are always covering their ass anyway, because that's their nature. They're kind of like us. If law have, if a chief is wanting to find, honestly, if I were a rookie cop and not everybody was wearing microphones and the chief put one on me, what would you think? I know what I'd certainly consider, unless I'm an idiot. Why is he so interested in what I'm doing? You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing, and then I think just getting smacked down. We didn't get smacked down. We got out of the Criminal Justice Committee. It was the scheduling committee that assigns priorities, and these yahoos that wrote checks, they got, VIP. They didn't even wait in the same line we did. But we got to get busy. I wanted to give you some updates. What's happening is since the legislative session closed and any hope of any kind of marijuana reform in Texas came to being, I'm seeing probably, and it's quite alarming to me, about a 40% increase in marijuana arrest. It's empowered them, and that fuckers. And again, this 40%, I think a lot of it is being attributed to body cams. The Obama administration, and I mean, they've just awarded a $800 bazillion grant for put one on every cop, and it's just more Big Brother. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, and I don't have any better news. A couple updates on some things in the law. Right now, particularly the Highway Patrol, but it is spread out. Homeland Security has developed some training program for cops, and they're bringing in all the trainers of cops who are training the cops, who are training the cops, who are training the cops. And they're basically turning them into junkyard dogs out here on the roadway. And they're pulling people over. They're sticking their finger up your ass. They're name it. There's this is a mindset that's being taught right now, and I need to bring everybody in home on this thing. You need to know what your rights are when those patriotic colors come on behind you. You need to know how the game is played. Because I can't go, and I get Facebook especially. Is this true? Some guy holding placards up against the, window. I want a lawyer. I want, is this what you should do? Well, no, not because you don't know. They could have a description. Your car was just involved in an armed robbery. Try that shit. I can't answer that. So it's just better to tell you how the game is played and what you should be. You need your script. And in this is not some lecture on how to smuggle drugs down 287 from Colorado. That's not what this is. What this is to keep you from having your constitutional rights sodomized out there on the side of 287. Okay? I can't stand up here and tell you how to break the law, and that's not what I'm doing. When you see those patriotic colors behind you, and it's time to pull over, you need to remember rule number one is he or she has the right to stop and detain you long enough as is necessary to take care of the business at hand. If he has stopped you for speeding, he's got all the time in the world well, no, not all. he's got a reasonable amount of time to write you a ticket, run all the necessary checks. And now, if you guys got warrants and shit, don't even come. Come on. You make it easy for them when you start doing so, you know. When you replace one taillight, you replace both of them. Got it? You know? So, but look, they're pulling, especially the highway patrol. They are the absolute worst. They're stopping you. There's no reason at all, and now they're making up all these reasons to detain you. You know, you're nervous. I see your jugular vein. Bullshit. Has anybody ever seen somebody's jugular vein pulsating because they were nervous?
Or your tongue's green.
Oh, green tongues. Even a Bible on the dashboard. He was trying to make me think he was a man of the cloth. Yeah, look, all right. But anyway, the more time they spend with you, the more bullshit they got to make up. Okay, and remember, they're videotaping this encounter, and this can apply to any cop situation, but the highway patrol especially. Okay, you know, sir, step out of the car, please. You know, why don't you have a seat in my car while I do? You know, what he's asking you to do is sit down for an on-camera interview. There's cameras hidden in that car pointed at you and microphones. All right, well, no, you ain't got to get in his car. Okay, what you got to do is say, officer, when they start taking you down some rabbit trail, where are you coming from? I don't know who you got in the car there with you. What you been doing? I don't know. How do you, officer? I thought you stopped me for speeding. Answer the question with a question. This is not Simon Says here, folks. I thought you stopped me for speeding. Well, yeah, but I'm just wondering, well, are you going to write me a ticket? Push that ticket. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than what he's wanting for you. Okay? I'd like to be on my way. You know, and then if he's got you out of, you know, he's asked you to step out, he can do that for his own safety. Step out of the car, you know. You need to, somewhere in the conversation, come on, this is a chance for your Oscar here, to say, I'm not nervous. What can I go? What is this all about? You know, if you're going to write me a ticket, write me a ticket. You're welcome to check me. You've got my ID. Why are you messing with the passengers? And passengers, y'all need to just refer them back to driver. You're a stranger. You're a stranger to this whole thing legally. Legally. You know, you ain't going to help your friend. You're going to fuck him because he's already told a story back there in that on-camera interview. You know, now Roby the robot's getting one from you. You know? We have a right. The police have the right to stop us. They have the right to detain us. They have they have the right to stop us. And if they see an infraction, they can write a ticket, do their checks, if everything's cool. They need to either be letting you go or they need to be explaining why they're holding you. And they will not say shit unless you ask them. What is the problem, officer? And again, why are you? You're what? A dog? Search my car? Excuse me? Can I search your car? You know that you do still have that Fourth Amendment right, but you got to exercise it. You've got a Fifth Amendment right, First Amendment right. You got the ability to move and say and do what you want. But again, remember, what they're saying to hold you, to make what they did legal, is they're saying you were nervous. I could very well say, officer, I'm not nervous, but I'm getting annoyed. Why are you still holding me here? Am I being detained? You know, be the timekeeper on them and don't discuss any irrelevant bullshit. Where you're going, what's it? That ain't none of it. Search my car? What? The only thing I would have in there that you don't have a copy of, obviously, is the Fourth Amendment. You know, you don't have to be a jerk, but be very, very abrupt about you knowing who you are, and don't try to Perry Mason them. Don't start talking the law. I'm talking too long, aren't I? Y'all are all fanning like something else. I know. All right, you want me to keep talking? Okay, all right. All right, no, you talk. No, They said I could keep talking. All right, look, developments in the law. I've come to know a lot of people that are interested in cannabis, that are particularly interested in concentrates and extracts. And right now in Texas, what they're doing is saying marijuana is not a scheduled narcotics, but THC is. If you got marijuana, we'll charge you with usually a misdemeanor. If you got THC, we don't give a shit. It's felony time, buddy. And it varies. It goes on up. And nobody has tested, and I'm starting to, at what point in the extraction process does cannabis cease to be cannabis and become THC? It's like being pregnant. It's all or nothing. Okay, and I've got a case right now in Brown County. My client's kind of squishy. He just doesn't really want to spend a lot of money fighting, but it's a cookies case. And this is where the marijuana brownies case came from and all that stuff. Brownwood. In this particular case, he ground up marijuana and he folded it into batter. Yeah, cookie batter. And I'm telling the DA, bullshit, you got marijuana. And he's like, no, I got THC, you know. And anyway, so he said, well, I'll have the lab check into it. And then he comes back and he says, the lab looked and didn't see any vegetable matter. Therefore, it's THC. I've got it, but it's now, look, for those of you that get caught with dab, if you want to actually raise this challenge, it's going to cost you like 20 grand in experts and travel. And understand the government has a blank check on these things. But anyway, I found experts that have said, bullshit, THC is marijuana. I mean, it's my opinion that in the extraction process, it does not become THC until it's indistinguishable from synthetic THC. It's the basic, pure chemical compound for THC and nothing else. You know, certainly not anything that's of vegetable matter or whatever. So I'm thinking, you know, look, this could apply to dab. This could apply to a lot of things unless you just have a really good connect. Look, it's going to have some shit in it. You know, it's going to have some plant matter in it. So that's a good thing, honestly, if you get caught with that crap and you really want to raise that issue. Of course, the statute, I think, is unconstitutional anyway. And all of this is untested, but test balloons are expensive. So, yeah, best be careful if that's your proclivity. One more thing I'll update you on, and that's the wakeboard team got arrested out at the Red Bull cliff diving. And last meeting, for those of you that weren't here, I briefed you that we were getting ready to sue the state of Texas because we had asked for a number of documents under the Public Information Act, including the body cameras that the game wardens were wearing, call logs, who was working there, reports, that sort of thing. We basically wanted to crawl up their ass with a microscope. And they were being completely resistant to everything. And that now they have turned over a couple of videos. They haven't said whether they're body cam videos or what, but I don't have any body cam videos yet. But basically what happened was these guys were at the cliff diving. There was 5 on the boat. Well, 3 on the boat, one on the dive platform and 1 off on a float. And the boat there's 250 boats tied up out here. It's a party. It was thick in the air. You know, I mean, it really was. In fact, we were kind of bummed out because we didn't have any. And one of the boys had taken the jet ski to get it. And I was being a bitch because he came back and you know, and I was mad because he stayed gone so long on the jet ski. And I'm going to go gas it, make it being dramatic how I can be sometimes. And I took off on the jet ski. And when I came back, all my boys were hooked up and they had the boat. And in these records, I found that they were joking before they pounced on us about seizing the boat. The day before, they had arrested a drug dealer that had all of maybe 12 grams in 1 gram bags, and they were apologizing to their superiors that they weren't able to seize this boat because the people were on a rented boat. And in the text messages and stuff I found, they were joking about seizing our boat, Hydro. And I think they were fully convinced that that we had pounds on it, and we were out there to peddle dope and all that stuff. And they raided the boat and found a whopping 3 grams and took all 5 of the guys to jail. I drove up while this was going on, on the jet ski, and the one that wasn't even on the float, they told him to come to the boat, and then the one on they told the guy that was on the dive platform to get in the boat, and then they arrested all 5 of them. And the kid that they caught, he was rolling a blunt, honestly, on a box in his lap when they stormed the boat, and they said, "Give me that," and he's like, so I mean, they knew whose weed it was, and he was the guy was taking full responsibility, but they took all 5. These guys were taken down. They were strip searched. They spread your butt cheeks, all this other stuff. Come on, guys, look. They were in a bathing suit. They were swimming. How many of you swim with grass up the crack of your ass? I mean, come on. Anyway, the good news is this. There's a little bit of light in this tunnel, and it's not completely a train, but the good news is I just got word this week. The only one they're actually charging was the kid that had it on the box that he was rolling the blunt, and they've not pursued charges on the other 4. But what bothers me is the cops knew they didn't have a case against the other 4. They knew. They told me as they were leaving, if you'd have been on the boat, we'd take you too. This is bullshit. And those guys were wearing shirts just like this. If you guys are okay with that, you're not my friend. This was bullshit. But look, I'm telling you, the bullshit out there is everywhere. And it's got to stop. And we got to rethink some things. I know we did it procedurally correct last time, but I mean, if you guys know a state legislator that hit on you in the boys' shower at summer camp, I want to know about it. Because I'm going to send you up to put your hand in the small of his back at some reception somewhere wearing a normal shirt. I'm down to get dirty at this point. There's something surreal about looking at reading text messages from cops joking about seizing your shit. So anyway, look, it's time for us to kind of get up and let's I'm just one guy, okay? But I think it's time for us to get a little ruder with them. And I think it's time for us to resort to some of the tactics we know the tactic that we can't afford money. We just don't have it. So what else is new, right? All right, thanks for listening, guys. If just please keep coming and bring your friends. Please bring other people, and not just people that agree with us now. People that are on the fence, bring them, and when they leave, we got it. We got this. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Hey, everybody. My name is Kevin Smith. I'm the compliance officer for DFW NORML. So I'm the guy that tells you to don't do what you're doing, whatever, right? Fair enough. Hey, whose first meeting is this? I know Shayla in the back. Where you at, Shayla? First meeting? No. First meeting down here. There. Bartender's inside. All right. Thank you very much for coming out. Your first meeting. If you, any of our other members, make sure you go up and talk to these people. Say hi, welcome them. We've got a lot of people that do come out to our meetings and nobody talks to them. And they're like, they're stuck up. I'm not coming back. Make sure you say hi to these people. All right. All right. So I'm here to talk about the marijuana march. There we go. October 17th. City of Dallas drugged their feet long enough for us, all right? We tried to play nice. We went and met with the cops, and we said, okay, we'll do it here, and we'll do our nice little route there, and we'll go back, and we'll clean up, yada, yada. Well, they kept taking their time, waiting. I'd call, and I'd email, got nothing back from these people. So now we're going to turn this into a protest. All right? We're not going to pay the fees that they want us to pay. We will at least be, I hate bees, sorry. Yeah, Adam slapped that thing for me. Whatever it is, it stings. Yeah, kill that damn bee. Wasp, bee, whatever, they sting, they suck. All right, so All right, so this is what we're going to do. October 17th, we're all going to meet up down at West End. Everybody be in your normal gear, something green, something purple, something that says normal, the blue and gold, whatever. Just be down there, all right? Tell as many people as you can. We were looking at about 3,500 people. Can you imagine 3,500 people just swarming West End in green, shouting out about cannabis? How great would that be? All right? Now, there'll definitely be more details to come. I only have a little bit so far because we had to literally, as of this morning, change our game plan because of the city of Dallas. All right? This will be a respectful gathering. All right? No fuck the police, no anti or any kind of militant stuff, you know. You do what you do. They're going to be honest.
They're going to be ready to put people in jail this time.
When we met with them, they said it will not be like last time. Now, this is when we were talking about the original march. All right. Last time I wasn't there. I understand we had about 2,500, 3,000 people walking down the street, quite a bit of them smoking right next to a cop. Nobody got arrested. Thank God. Probably not going to happen this time. So be careful. All right. Either way, we'll be at West End. We will figure out a route because we are going to march and we're going to stay on the sidewalk. We cannot get in the streets. They will lock us up right quick if we get in the streets. So we'll be blocking traffic. So we're not doing that.
If there's enough of them.
Yeah, if there's enough.
If you don't mind going. I mean, if you don't mind going, I think it'd be. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. I'm sorry. I'm pissed.
Yeah, that's.
We're going to tell you not to do it.
Yeah, it is my job as compliance officer to tell you to stay within the laws. I can't. Now, physically, I can't control any one of you. All right, you do what you do, whatever. But I am telling you to behave. All right, cops are going to be honest. They've already told us it won't be like last time. Now we will meet with them again, and we will tell them, hey, look, this is what we are doing because we're still going to be respectful of the police. We do need their help, but we're not going to pay the city's fees. We're not going to put up with that. Now let's become a protest. All right. So October 17th, all the new people, you and Shayla. I see you hiding. Everybody say hi to Shayla. Shayla, like me, has social anxiety, and it is tough to get up and to come out sometimes and to talk to people that you don't know, you know. Damn right I'm going to do it. Hey, if I got to stand up here, I'm going to point you out. All right? But see, now it's over. Now you're good. Now you know all these beautiful people. All right? So either way, sorry, I took up too much of your time. October 17th. And oh, that's right. Thank you, Jeff. We will be doing an after party where we'll have vendors and we can come and hang out. Do we have a visitor?
Might be at my house.
Do we have a police visitor? Oh, no. Geico? What? Perry, come on. All right, do an after party. Either way, we'll have more details to come. We will need volunteers for that after party. So once we get a little bit more info, I'll pass it on to Megan and we can get that out to y'all. All right. Anyway, that's all I got. You're welcome. Thank you.
Hey guys, so I know you're exhausted right now, but just a few more minutes from me. Okay. So my name is Caroline Turner. I'm the executive director of Denton NORML. I'm 19 years old, and to some people that would be a disadvantage, but in my opinion, it's an advantage. There's a new generation of patients or people that just want to change the law, and I'm not going to represent everybody's opinion, but I'm going to make sure that mine's known. And if I have to lead a group that agrees with me, then that's what I'm going to do. Something really important that we've touched on a lot in this meeting is what are you going to do about it? Right? So we have all of these problems of people are getting arrested, right? They're getting put behind bars, they're getting arrested, their patients, all this stuff. So what the hell are we going to do about it? You know, you can volunteer for the organization, and that's great. And we do a lot of good stuff that's going to do stuff about it. But what are you going to do as a person? Are you going to talk to people? That's great, because if you aren't capable of doing anything, which now I don't think that any of you are incapable of doing at least something, but if you just feel like that, you know, spreading information is potentially going to lead to someone who can do something about it. And I am that person, okay? 6 months ago, I was sitting in this crowd. I didn't know anybody. I'd never been here before, but I knew that there was something that needed to be done. So I came here. I was one of the people that would have raised their hand first time. And I heard some speakers. And some of those speakers are people that are here today, like Jeff and Adam. My best friend, Barbara Humphreys, who's suffering from breast cancer. And luckily, I got to see Alexis Bortel speak before she went to Colorado. I know them now, and they're all my great friends, but I know at that time, even so I could tell they were really nervous. And they're going to tell their story, but they didn't know, they were so nervous about getting up there, and they were kind of thinking, what am I doing this for? Why am I doing this? And they didn't know that in the front row of that crowd was the next executive director of an organization just 30 miles away. Telling people your story is important, but it's not the only thing that you can do. You need to have a new mindset about this. You're saying, what are other people doing and what can I do with them? Start saying, what can I do? Recently, well, not so much recently, but it has grown in popularity. Concentrates have become really popular. Dabs, right? It's more efficient, it's all this stuff, right? So you guys know. But concentrates have risen in popularity a lot. But we're finding that the laws for them are much harsher than for flour. And so we're kind of asking why. It's the same stuff. It's in concentrated form, but why is it that it's so disproportionately, there's so much punishment? So myself and the deputy director got together and we said, well, that law sucks. Why don't we write a new one? Marshall here is the author of a bill that we're going to try and find. We're actively working on finding a representative to author for us. We're working on it. But the thing is that, you know what he did? He wrote it over his lunch break. Okay? Granted, Marshall is very well versed and very informed and very intelligent. But it doesn't take a lot. Just a couple of hours of reading the laws, observing some of the other laws and how they're formatted, and you can write your own bill. Marshall's 20 years old. If he can write a bill, you can at least contribute to someone else doing so. And if you can't, then you better damn well support us while we take the torch. DFW NORML is really important to me because not only was I in the front of that crowd, just an unnamed person, a student, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know anything, and I still don't in a lot of ways. But at that time, I had severe social anxiety, okay, to the point where, if I was going to go eat at a restaurant, I couldn't talk to a waiter. When going to the grocery store, I'd throw my groceries down and I'd have my head down. I'd try to avoid any kind of conversation. And here I am. Thank you. If I couldn't talk to a cashier, and I'm here, not just talking to you guys, but talking to my representatives, marching the Capitol in Austin, telling anybody and everybody who will listen, this is why the laws need to change. We can all overcome those obstacles. And it's not easy, and there's a lot to it, and it's not just talking to people, there's a lot more. But we are all capable of doing something, and you need to ask yourself, what am I capable of doing? And how can I make this change? Because we can sit here and talk about all day how pissed off we are, and you're pissed off too. But what the hell does it matter if we're not doing anything about it? We need to move forward. We don't need to stand still. We're not moving backwards, but we need to move forward. I hear all the time, it's really unreasonable that marijuana is illegal. I'm surprised the laws haven't changed yet. Well, I wonder when it's going to happen. I don't know. Are you doing anything about it? Is anybody you know doing anything about it? It's not going to change if we don't do anything about it. That's not how the law works. We have this idea just does whatever the hell they want, and we just deal with the consequences. That's not how it works. It's not how it's supposed to work, and we're going to make sure it doesn't work that way. Because we don't have money, okay? We don't have money. We have enough money, usually, to keep our organizations running, and that's about it. It's on you guys. Because money does a lot. And so you can get a small group of people with a lot of money. What if you have a huge, massive, huge percentage of the United States and a little bit of money? Then the numbers are going to speak for themselves with the people, not with the money. Keep moving forward. Keep thinking about how you can change, what you can do about this, who you can help, where you can go. Have it on your mind. Spend just an hour sitting there tonight after this meeting and say, what are my skills? What am I capable of? And be kind to yourself in that. Be kind to yourself and realize that you're capable of more than you think you are. Because I am speaking in this meeting and I'm imagining my old self right there. And I don't know if she would have believed me. But it's important that you hear that you are capable more than you think you are. And you can move forward and you can do this, and you can say to your children, to your grandchildren, or no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, there will be people behind you that you can say, I was a part of that. All right, you didn't stand by the sidelines. Marijuana will be legal one day, yes, but we have to do it. And are you going to be the cool-ass grandma who's telling your kids, yeah, guess what? Look at these pictures. Look at me talking in front of thousands of people. Look at me doing this shit. All right, I was in Austin. I was there. I was at the representative's desk. Look at me. I'm cool. That's what I'm going to do, all right? And that's what you guys can do, too. A legacy. You need to start a legacy. Move forward. Take the torch. Good luck.
All right, 19 years old. That's the future of our country right there. And I can say that because I'm on the other side of the hill. Hi, my name's Steve. If you guys don't know me, I'm Steve. I just want to run over some. Thank you. I just want to run over a couple of business items real quick. But first, I want to say thank you for everybody that came out, especially if you guys that have been here for the first time. Thank you for coming out. This is the start of something big in your lives, and hopefully you'll continue it. Thanks to everybody for being up here so far. Thank you guys a ton. The thing in Dallas has been a real issue. Remember, the right to free assembly, peaceful assembly, is your First Amendment right. And that's what's going to happen in Dallas for the march, because Dallas has really started throwing some hoops to jump through, and it's gotten a little silly. So if you want to do something really special, the march will be it, okay? Second, we've also been looking at running some ads to promote our activity at the march. We run into a lot of headway with a lot of roadblocks with the stations, TV stations we're trying to buy ads with. It's gone to their attorneys. Their attorney says, well, if it's an issue that it's currently on the ballot, we'll consider it. I'm like, what? There's no issue on the ballot. We're like the American Red Cross, the Susan G. Komen Foundation. We have an event we'd like to promote it. So anyway, there is a lot of opposition out there. And I think it's because people are scared and they're uneducated. And that's where you guys can, like everybody's mentioned, you are here to help educate other people. Learn something here, do some research on your own, spread the word, just tell people. I run into a lot of people my age that are totally oblivious, and they don't really, I think in a lot of ways they don't care anymore because it was something they did a lot years ago, but now it's like, oh, is that still happening? Yeah, it's happening in a big way. So get involved if you can, spread the word, especially all you new guys like Steve. Hey, Steve. I wasn't going to point you out, but I thought I would. Now, quickly to what we're having to do, we have, most of the people who have spoken up here were board members. We have elected board members and we have appointed board members. I'm appointed board members, but the elected board members come up every 2 years. Every year, we rotate the positions that are being elected on so that we don't have everybody replaced at one time. Next month, we will have elections for 4 positions. We've had an open position as the deputy director of the organization. Many of you know Sean, who's the executive director, but our deputy director position has been open for a while. So if you've ever wanted to do more and to get involved, and you think that you could be a good leader for people, explaining what's going on, talking, organizing, if this is something you think you could do, then there's a position. Another position is open is the director of finance. We currently have Loretta Labrada, who's there, maybe you know her, but that position comes up for election next month as well. The yearly positions that are voted on every year are the public information officer, David Sloan, and the compliance officer, Kevin Smith. If you guys want to make a run for it, then you should get involved in some way. These guys have got on board and they have proven themselves that they want to do something. If you do, get involved in any way you can. Come to the meetings, do everything everybody's already mentioned. You guys, I hope I'm not speaking to anyone from the choir here. You know what needs to be done. You know you're not a criminal. David said they're after a lot of people because it just makes their numbers look good. So don't be one of them. Be smart and help educate everybody, and we will get this moved along, okay? Okay? Shit, did I put everybody to sleep out there? All right, well, thank you guys very much.
Hey everyone, how are you? So I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out to our September meeting over here at the Ozzie Rabbit. Before we close the meeting, I wanted to share a couple of articles that I stumbled upon too. On September 25th, the Texas Wildlife Department got a report from 2 hog hunters that they had found some marijuana plants out on some Texas wildlife land. They actually found 6,500 mature plants, guys. That's $6 million total assets lost right there for those people. If this was legal, they wouldn't have lost this. Now, guys, that's not to mention the tax revenue that was lost. If we were taxing this, that would have came out to $1,050,000 in taxes, guys. And that's at 17.5% like alcohol. Or if they wanted to do 8.25%, it actually came out to $495,000 in taxes lost. That's huge. That's huge. That could all went to schools. And on top of that, we have the Texas Stash House program. They have paid their first tip off, a $2,500 little bonus for someone tipping off on the stash houses around Texas, guys. That bust led to 70 pounds of cannabis equaling up to $425,000 loss, 4 pounds of concentrate equaling up to $38,000 loss, with a total tax revenue of $81,025 lost right there, guys. That's just 2 cases right here in the past week that has happened. We have got to end this. This has got to end here in the state of Texas. We have got to start taxing marijuana. So no matter what, we can take care of our schools. We can take care of our infrastructure here in Texas a little bit better. Because I'm tired of these bumpy roads, aren't y'all? Well, guys, thank you very much for coming out to our September meeting. And I hope everybody has a great day. And I'll see you guys next month. Bye-bye.
Can I get an extra round of applause for Jeff hosting his first meeting? Did he not do an awesome job? Oh, and of course, our fearless